Yeah. Hey. What do you do, Sports World? Welcome to the Real Life Tactical Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, man, I got a great segment for you. I want to talk about former Alabama safety, free safety, superstar, All-American Caleb Downs has pretty much committed to the University of Ohio State, the Buckeyes. Hey, listen, man, I know this right here happened last week. I was supposed to get to it, but I took a few days to basically process all this right here. But I want to get into it right now, all right? And like I said, Caleb Downs went to the University of Ohio State, pretty much committed. Most likely it's because of NIL money. But in the end, he's gone. He went, gone down there. But listen, before I get started, hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. All right. And like I said before, hey, if you guys got anything that you all want to donate, make sure y'all take it to the closest donation place and donate those cold weather stuff, man, because it's very cold out here. All right. But listen, let's go ahead and jump into this. And like I said before, former Alabama All-American free safety Caleb Downs has committed to the University of Ohio State. He's a Buckeye now. What do that mean? I honestly feel that Caleb Downs could have went down as the greatest Alabama safety in history. With the All-American season that he just had, he could have went down as the greatest Alabama safety in history. Okay, and that's over Michael Parsons. Not Michael Parsons. I just got done talking about the Cowboys. That's better than Micah Fitzpatrick. Okay, and everybody know Mr. Fitzpatrick was a dog at Alabama. That dude was a flat-foot dog. Okay, but I think that this kid right here had everything to be one of the greatest. I'm talking about top two. Him, Micah Fitzpatrick will be a 1-2 of the greatest safeties to ever come through Alabama. And I don't know why he ended up going to Ohio State. Well, I do know it's NIL. The NIL pretty much, made this decision a little easier for him and his family. If I'm his father, but his father, I think, it was a big reason why also that Caleb Downs went to Ohio State. And this is why I don't understand why would his father want him to go to Ohio State when this man has built a reputation at the University of Alabama. This man right here could, like I said, he could have carried, a legacy at the University of Alabama. And for him to go to Ohio State, like I said, it's most likely NIL. How do he fit on Ohio State? He fits good in the Big Ten. I think he's going to be a hell of a player wherever he goes. I just feel like Alabama was the perfect place for him. And, a lot of players, transferred. Isaiah Bond went to Texas. That was basically, that was money. Knobloch, he went to the University of Texas. That basically was money. Kendrick Blackshear, that was basically, of course, NIL. And also I think that Kendrick Blackshear, I honestly feel that going to Texas was the best decision for him because he close to home, and I think that he could play more at the University of Texas. The only problem I had with Kendrick Blackshear was this. Kendrick Blackshear was a big physical player, but he missed a lot of tackles because he loved to arm tackle too much. He loved to pretty much hit you, try to kill you instead of wrapping up. That was his only problem at the University of Alabama. And maybe he can fix that. Maybe Steve Sarkisian can fix that at the University of Texas. I don't know. But, we'll see. Isaiah Bond, I think Isaiah Bond, they can replace Isaiah Bond. He was good, but I think they can replace him with other players. Honestly, I feel that Kendrick Law is a better fit for Alabama than Isaiah Bond. Even though I like Isaiah Bond, and I think Isaiah Bond kind of remind me of Jalen Waddle just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. But he reminds me a little bit of Jalen Waddle. But they're going to replace him with the Washington receiver, the slot receiver from Washington. But I think that Kendrick Law, that pretty much opens everything up for him. Like I said, Kendrick Law reminds me of Debo. And I think that's how Alabama is going to use him next year. Everybody jumping off this Alabama bandwagon. Everybody saying, Alabama, man, this Alabama team, they going to go down without Nick Saban. I honestly feel like this team right here is going to be a very dangerous team next year. Now, Caleb Downs going to Ohio State with Judkins. Judkins went to Ohio State as well. Howard from Kansas State went to Ohio State. Even though I think Judkins is going to be a star at Ohio State. Honestly, he's maybe comes in, and I can see him taking Travion Henderson's spot because Travion Henderson is so injury prone. I think that Judkins can come in because of his durability. And also, what's the number one thing when it comes to sports? You got to be your availability. You got to be available. And that's what I think Judkins is going to be at the University of Alabama. I mean, at the University of Ohio State, because he's going to be available. And Travion Henderson, he stays hurt so much. So that's a really, really good pickup. Howard, I don't think Howard is really just that big of a deal. I think that he can shine at Ohio State playing in the Big Ten, but you got Washington coming to the Big Ten. You got Oregon coming to the Big Ten. Oregon is one of those teams that I think that can give Ohio State a run for their money. With Dan Lanning and that team, I think that's a team that can give them a run for their money. Now, I'm hearing from sources that Ohio State, that Michigan is probably going to lose Jim Harbaugh. Now, that's going to be big. Because if you take him away from Michigan, then they're going to lose a lot of recruits as well. And I don't think they're going to be as good as Alabama when they lose recruits that they're going to lose, okay? Because a lot of players came there to play for Jim Harbaugh. So him leaving, Michigan going to be in the same predicament that Alabama's in right now. But let's talk about Caleb Downs. Like I said, Caleb Downs had a chance to be one of the greatest safeties that ever come through the University of Alabama. And him leaving, I think that right there was a big mistake. But I can't say it's a mistake because it's money involved. It's money involved. And when money is involved, it can never be a mistake. You know, if you're paying me $1 million to come to your university, you know, these new players, they're choosing money over legacy. They don't care about legacy. You know, legacy, it is what it is. It's about the money. I'm going to get the money now. And, you know, maybe I can get both. Maybe I can get money and a legacy. But if I have to pick one, they're going to go with the money. Because I don't think legacy got nothing to do with it. Because a lot of players going to Texas, I just can't see them going to Texas as a legacy move. Just like Ohio State, I don't see him because his legacy is already built at at Alabama. So he can only build onto his legacy right now as a freshman All-American at the University of Alabama, the first freshman to ever be an All-American at Alabama safety. Come on, man, that's Sean Taylor type of talent. Now, is he like Sean Taylor? Nah, I knew Sean Taylor. When I first saw Sean Taylor as a true freshman, sophomore at the University of Miami, I knew he was a star. And just so you all know, Sean Taylor is my favorite player ever of all time. But yes, he is. When I saw him, I knew that he was a star from the beginning. Do I see that in Caleb Downs? Just a little bit. I don't see it like just a little bit right now. He's a freshman, just a little bit. So, but in the end, he committed to the Ohio State. And people can say, oh, man, this. First of all, I was thinking he was going with Georgia. You're from Georgia. That's your home. Go to Georgia. You go to Kirby. Your defensive backs coach just went to Georgia. I felt Georgia was a lock. So when you go to Ohio State, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Oh, this right here was a money grab. This right here was a money thing. This right here we ain't had nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, legacy. This right here is basically money. And I think everybody felt like that. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I think it was money that caused him to go to Ohio State. Ohio State is loading up. They said that Ohio State has spent $13 million in NIL. If Ohio State do not win the national championship next season, this is a busted season, and they need to fire Ryan Day. His job is on the line next season because these donors are investing so much money. That's more pressure on him. And do I think Ohio State is going to win the national championship? No, I don't. I don't think Ohio State is going to win the national championship because think about it. It's Ohio State. One thing about Ryan Day, he'll win this. He's just like the Cowboys. He will choke at the perfect time. They're going to have one of the best rosters in college football. They might come into the season ranked number 1 or number 2. Either them or Georgia. It's going to be number 1 and number 2. So he have everything that he need, and he have the donors behind him. He have all type of the investors behind him. The only thing he needs to do is win. Now, if he wins next season, then this $13 million pretty much paid off. But if he loses, this right here is one of the biggest. This right here is going to be one of the biggest choke jobs that I've ever seen in college football. The only other one that I've seen was I feel like the Miami Hurricanes should have won the national championship the year that they lost to Texas. No, they lost to Maurice Claret, Ohio State. And then I feel like the USC should have beat Texas. But hey, that's besides the point. This Ohio State team is loaded with Caleb Downs at safety, with their defense that came back. Man, they are loaded. They had linebacker came back, defensive linemen came back, cornerbacks came back, wide receivers came back. Well, Marvin Harrison did, but the other receiver came back. Then they had the number one receiver coming in Jeremiah Smith. They have Howard coming in at quarterback. Then you got Aaron Nolan coming in. You got Judkins coming in at running back. Man, this team is loaded on both sides of the ball. So Caleb Downs, this right here could be a good decision. But I just feel like if you stayed at Alabama, you would have built your legacy. This right here was a legacy. Your legacy was built at the University of Alabama. But hey, Nick Saban, he wanted to play for Nick Saban. I understand that. I respect that. But in the end, it was money that caused you to go to the University of Ohio State. Hey, man, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. And then, like I said before, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button. And also, make sure y'all donate. Y'all donate clothes. If you got any clothes that you all want to get rid of, make sure y'all take it to the Goodwill, because it's a lot of people out there that's homeless right now. And it's very, very, very cold out here, all right? Hey, until next time, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Peace.